Hi, my name is Mike Kirchner. I am an assistant professor of organizational leadership over at Purdue University, Fort Wayne. I have been a professor for the last 4 years, but that career path, that path toward getting here, was much more choppy than I think I would have expected 20 years ago. Over the next few minutes, I'd like to share a little bit about not only what we do as professors, but also what was my career path like? What were some of those significant moments for me that led me to being here in Fort Wayne? I'm originally from Milwaukee, Wisconsin, and can't say I ever thought I'd live in Fort Wayne, Indiana, but it was a willingness to try different things. And I'm going to get into a couple stories and share a couple of experiences that were particularly impactful for me. And I'd like you to take this time and as you consider some of the stories that I share, I'd like you to consider, what do you care about? And maybe what you would have done in these situations, and where would you like to go? One of the first things we're asked as kids is, what do you want to do with your life? And where do you want to be when you grow up? And I think the biggest challenge with those questions is we don't know what we don't know. And so we oftentimes will say we'd like to do something that we're very familiar with, whether it's being some type of athlete because we see our favorite athletes on TV, or we'd like to do whatever job it is that our parents do, or somebody very close to us does, because we see these things every day. And so I'd like you to take the next few minutes and consider how some of these different jobs I've had might be of interest to you to consider. So first, it wasn't that long ago I didn't even know that I could become a professor. It was a job I never thought about. I never realized that it was something that was worth considering. And once I started, I realized that there were really three primary components of our role. The first, similar to a teacher, is that we teach. We provide education in a particular field or arena that we specialize in, that we're passionate about. And so across campus, and as you begin preparing for college, potentially moving into college, you're going to be put in a position of selecting a major. And similar to students, we as professors have to select a major to specialize in. And so I said, I'm in the organizational leadership program, so I teach courses on employee training and development, human behavior in organizations. Why do we act the way we do in the workplace? The second aspect of our field is doing research and studying what's going on within our field. And so I'll get into this a little bit more shortly, but I'm an Army veteran. Spent 6 years in the National Guard, a year in Iraq. And so most of my research relates to veteran career transitions, something I've become very passionate about and is a significant reason why I enjoy being an assistant professor. The third aspect of our job relates to providing service to the campus and to the community and to the field of research that we're a part of. So being a professor is exciting in just that every day is a little bit different. We don't show up and do the exact same role or have the exact same responsibility every day. It keeps things fresh. As I said at the onset here, I've had many different jobs. I started off as an employee at Culver's when I was 14 years old. I had that job for a long time. But ever since then, I was a telemarketer for a couple weeks. I worked at a Walgreens. I again served in the Army. But it was a couple jobs. It was that job in the Army, and my first job working in a nonprofit organization that really, those two jobs and having those two experiences significantly altered my career path. When I graduated with my bachelor's degree, I wanted to be a corporate trainer. I thought I'd get into a big company. I'd be hired to teach adults, train adults, how to do things in organizations. I figured I'd learn how to do that type of stuff once I was hired. But what I realized was, even though I had this bachelor's degree in adult education, I didn't know anything that employees didn't already know, or at least that's how my resume looked. And I subsequently reached out to a professor, to a former professor of mine, used my network and asked, by chance, do you have anything? She offered me a basic skills instructor position where I'd be responsible for leading education programming, helping low-income Milwaukee residents earn their GEDs, transition into college, find full-time jobs. It was that role that was jarring to me. It was very impactful and made me recognize that money is only so beneficial. When you don't care about your job, it really doesn't matter how much money you're making. You're still going to have these feelings of something is missing. Something's not. You're lacking something. And even though I wasn't making a ridiculous amount of money, I felt passionate about what I was doing. I cared about who I was helping, and I felt like I was making some type of impact. And simply being in that role was impactful enough to redirect where the rest of my career was headed. The other aspect relates to being an Army veteran. Having transitioned out and having a little bit of a difficult transition out of the military woke me up a little bit and helped me realize there's opportunities to help other veterans who are transitioning out. And so today, that is what I do is in my research. I do research on how do we help veterans transition out of the military. And I have the opportunity to use that research and present about it. Present about it in the Fort Wayne area. I get to publish papers on it. I get to present it at conferences. That's a unique feeling of fulfillment that I would struggle to get in another job. So as I think about what do I really want to focus on, or what would be 3 tips that I'd give you? The first one would be just to have a willingness to explore, to try different things. I worked at Culver's for a very, very long time, and over that time frame, I refused to explore other opportunities that didn't particularly fit exactly what I wanted to do. Had I not just said yes to taking on that position as an instructor in a nonprofit organization, I would have missed out on in a career path that I never knew was available. So I encourage you to just explore and try different things. The second recommendation would be to just open your mind up. Be willing to try out a position or look at a day in the life of a job or career field that you would normally blow off and say, no, that's not what I'm interested in, because we don't know what we're passionate about until we find out that, no, we are truly not passionate about this. The last recommendation I have is to simply work hard. Whatever it is you do, even if it's a job that you don't like, work hard, because there's always people watching. You're always building up your network of people who can help you find your career path along the way. I wish you luck and best wishes in your career journey.